Pasulka again. In this video, I want to talk to you about the actual writing in your essay. Now, for me, the three main goals of your personal essay are to be sincere, to be interesting, and to be particular to you. But I find that a lot of students are really bogged down with rules that make their essays more generic, more boring, and less particular to them. So I'm going to highlight some of these rules for you in this video, and hopefully free you from them. So first, let's talk about organization particular to college essays. I've read a lot of what I consider really generic advice about college essays, and most of it revolves around organization. Things like pick an event in your life, put us in the middle of the action, and then step back and analyze the event. Or the wraparound essay, where you're supposed to conclude with a line that refers back to something in your introduction. Or the 5-paragraph essay, or ending your essay with something that ties into your future major. There's even an advisor on my Facebook feed who claims that he's distilled college essay organization into 4 templates, A, B, C, and D, and all you have to do is pick which of the 4 students you are. Now, I understand that it might feel safer to have somebody just give you a template for your college essay, but check that against your real life. If you're picking out a birthday present for someone, you would never go out and buy a box first and then think to yourself, what present can I buy that fits inside this box? Or you would never sit in this room and say, well, this room is blue, so I'm only going to buy books, I'm only going to read books that have blue covers so that everything in my office can match. Yes, elementary school writing instruction focuses on organization, and maybe there are reasons for that, but especially in your personal essay, the content of your essay should be the boss and not the organization. The main reason is that if you start with the organization, that can actually back you into a topic that's less than ideal for you. For example, most students' best topics do not revolve around a single narrative scene. Most students are not going to be writing topics directly related to their majors in college, even if they know their majors at this point. And even if your topic happens to fit into an organizational template, especially on your personal essay, the very last thing that you want to do is take your very unique experience, your very unique personality, and just box it up to look like everyone else. So don't pick template A, B, C, or D. Don't set out to write a 5-paragraph essay. Don't even write a formal introduction or conclusion. Definitely not a thesis statement. And no hooks. Yes, let's talk about the hook. I am very biased against the hook. Maybe you know someone who can make a compelling argument for it. But for me, the idea of a hook is that I'm going to make the first sentence or the first paragraph of my essay so interesting that it compels you into reading the rest of the boring bits of my essay. So, first of all, admissions officers want to read your essay, believe it or not. Secondly, your entire essay should be interesting, not just the first line or the first paragraph. But the real reason you should not use a hook is because it reads like a gimmick, and gimmicks will eat away at your sincerity. Think about your own life. If somebody is visibly trying to hook you into something or to sell you something, you're wary of them and you trust them just a little bit less. So don't do that with your essay. No hooks, no gimmicks, even if they're old friends of yours, no snappy titles, no Googling quotes, no dictionary definitions, no poems that start each line with a letter of your name. Just figure out what you want the admissions officers to know about you and let any organizational conventions follow that content. Next, let's talk about generalizations and cliches. Things like, I'm a hard worker, I'm naturally curious, I think outside the box, I rise to the challenge. Try not to use them. This is just another way to take your unique experiences and box them up in the language of everybody else. For the past 5 years or so, I want to mention, I've also seen a rise in kind of corporate jargon and academic jargon. You want to be especially wary of this if you're giving your essay to somebody to get feedback and they're most familiar with writing for the corporate and academic world. It doesn't mean that they're not a good writer, but those writing worlds are thick with jargon, and the last thing you want to do on your personal essay is auto-tune your voice to the voice of like a 40-year-old in a meeting, okay? So try to be wary of that. Finally, let's talk about grammar. Yes, I'm going after grammar. Let me let you in on a little secret. Half of what you've learned in the past 12 years as grammar is not really grammar, it's style. Let me explain the difference. So grammar includes things like subject-verb agreement, how to use semicolons correctly, and yes, you want to get those right in your essay. You obviously don't want to send your essay out into the world with its pants down. But you can be much more flexible than with style. In fact, you need to be more flexible with style in your personal essay, because that's one of the things that's going to make your essay much more interesting and give you your particular voice in your essay. So yes, it's fine to use contractions like can't and won't. It's fine to use a run-on sentence if that illustrates a particular point that you're trying to make. It's fine to start a sentence with and or but. Yes, you can make a paragraph out of just one sentence or even one word. Yes, you can use slang if that's the most precise word choice for the situation. Don't go deep slang because then they won't understand you, but in general, break whatever conventions you need in order to get your point across. You have a very, very difficult task ahead of you. You have to look back on the last 17 or 18 years of your life, distill them, and then take what's in your head and what's in your heart and transfer it to somebody else's head or their heart in as intact a version as possible. And you have to do that in 650 words. That's enough constraints. Don't make it more difficult for yourself by weighing yourself down with arbitrary rules. All right, next up, more writing strategies for you.